coming this evening. Wanted to speak with all of you about specialization of youth in youth sports, whether it's a good thing or not. To specialize or not to specialize, that is the question. Should youths at any age specialize in one sport over another and spend most of their year doing that? I contend not, and I would like to speak to you about why that is. As a father myself, I have two young boys, ages 12 and 10, that I've often asked myself the very question, should they specialize or should I cut them down to a certain sport, a sport they love? Three questions come to mind when you start thinking about these things. Is it the right thing to do? Is it safe for them, both physically and mentally? And at what age should you start to specialize in a sport? I want to talk about the first question first. Is it the right thing to do? The belief is that if you specialize in a sport, that will lead to a better chance of success in that sport as they get older. The problem is there's no facts to support that theory. No hard evidence that says specialization prior to a certain age or prior to the age of 12 will guarantee any certain amount of success. Single sports focus kind of puts all your eggs in one basket. Putting a child in a sport, making them focus on that one sport. If they don't like it, then you just wasted a whole bunch of time. How do they know what sports are going to be good for them or which ones they like if they only focus on one? One thing that I had never thought of until I started doing research on this topic was allowing kids to play multiple sports also allows them to work with different coaches, get different strategies and philosophies. If my kids only work with me as a coach in one sport, they're never going to experience anything else and have trouble with that when they do start to play high school sports. So that was a good thing to hear. The next question was in regards to safety, both physically and mentally. Overuse injuries increases in sports in specialization of sports. Specialization accounts for 50% of overuse injuries. Kids just playing the same sport over and over, baseball for an example, starts to really wear on the elbows and shoulders. 70 to 93% of injuries most likely occur due to specialization, and that's the overuse again. According to Dr. David Marshall of the Children's Healthcare in Atlanta, when children are specializing in a sport, they are less likely to tell anyone that they are hurt for fear of losing important playing time. And I started to notice this when some of the I don't specialize with my kids, but I do start to notice that some of the sports that they play in, they want playing time, and they're going to be less likely to tell us if they specialize in that one sport because they want to play. On the mental side of things, there's a far greater risk of burnout for three reasons. One reason is for stress. We're trying to be so good at it. There shouldn't be any stress in performing. Decreased motivation. And then lack of enjoyment. After all, sports are supposed to be fun. So what is the right age to start specialization? Prior to the age of 12, absolutely not. All research indicates that 80% of the time kids are playing, they need to play a deliberate or focused sport. It needs to be on anything other than the chosen one. And in my son's case, if he likes basketball so much, play basketball, but spend 80% of your time doing something else. Ages 13 through 15, that's about a 50-50 split. Focus on the one that you really want to work on, but also spend half of your time playing some other sports as well. At age 16, it seems to be the good age to let kids specialize, but even then they should still spend about 20% of their time focused on something other than the sport that they want to succeed in. So with these facts in mind, early age specialization should not happen. I'm glad I did the research on this because it drives my point home that that's where we need to be. Again, mentally and physically, it's just not worth the risk. Sports are supposed to be fun for children, not work. They have enough work at school, homework, schoolwork, doing chores around the house. Let them go play sports and have fun. And keeping kids active should be the focus of sports activities, not making them great at one or two sports. So I'd like to thank you all for coming over and have a nice evening.